Okay, you're on green, and I will show content. Introduce yourself. You may proceed.
We're the Hybrid 2. I'm Caitlin Setter, and I was in charge of being the president and the flight doctor.
My name is PrescottJROTC. I was the flight investigative officer and the FAA.
My name is Haley Elm. I was the pilot.
I'm Christopher Bittenbender, and I was maintenance and psychologist.
We are presenting the Varga and 5074V.
Before the plane had crashed, it had increased in altitude very rapidly, and then suddenly nosedived, and then crashed into the ground, and then the tail had flipped over. When it had collided nose first, and the tail had flipped over, known as the scorpion effect, and that's how it crashed. The toxicology report had come back, and he had no signs of alcohol or drugs, and evidence had shown that there was no mechanical failures or malfunctions with the aircraft.
The pilot's name was Thomas E. Glenn.
Actually, I think it was
His age was 53, and he flew a total of 302 hours.
I was the flight doctor. Autopsy was performed by the Central Organ Pathology Consultants. The pilot's heart was beyond damage because when the flight kind of split him in half, and the toxicological samples were sent to the FACAI of Oklahoma City, and everything came out negative.
There were no psychological issues noted with the pilot, so we ruled out any psychological problems that he had while he was flying in the aircraft.
This was the person that was missing.
This was a civilian aircraft, so there was no weapons, so they could not be a factor in the crash.
I was also the president. I was in charge of who was doing their work and who wasn't. For this presentation, there were some people who didn't really bother coming and didn't even do their work at all. And overall, we all pretty much participated, and yeah. To conclude, the pilot was not under the influence of alcohol, had no stress. The plane has crashed because of mechanical failure, because he was going too high of altitude, then pretty much him physically blacking out and losing control of the plane as everything shut it down, and slowly rammed down and collided to the ground, pretty much smashing everything together. And this was the information we got everything from to help us with this presentation. That was it.
All right, everybody give them a round of applause, please. Turn off the presentation here. Do you have a document?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and display that then.
You gotta do that. Do I read it right now?
Excuse me?
Do I read it?
You may present it however you'd like.
Alright.
This is, make sure they can hear you.
We, in our document, we were explaining details of the pilot to the details of the plane, then details to the crash of what happened towards after the plane. The pilot who was flying the plane was Thomas Eglum. He was 53 years old, private pilot. The plane he flew was the Varga. The plane design was white with blue and red pine strips on the side. This plane was built in the year of 1976. The total flight hours this plane had flown was marginally 42 hours. It was a single engine plane with a seat for 2 people. Only 1 person was flying the plane of the day of the crash. October 8th, 1991 was then this plane was first flown. It flew until October 1st, 1992 was when it was destroyed. The Varga crashed and was destroyed in October. It was 70 miles south of Burns, Oregon. There are many reports saying that the plane crashed due to being at high altitude. What had really happened was the pilot pulled straight up to the sky, holding a high angle until finally the plane shut it down, all power from the beginning up way too high in the air. Then the nose of the plane dropped down and started to spin to the left, falling down. At the rate of speed of 100 miles per hour, the Varga had collided with the Terran. There were several damage and fatal injuries to the pilot of the plane. There are statements that say that the tubing was bent and the brakes in the system was noted near the center of the airplane, and that the elevators were free to move and unobstructed. The wings were highly damaged, both left and right. The front landing gear was completely missing, and the rear landing gear was bent and damaged. The tail of the plane was completely torn off. The pilot headset was nowhere near to the plane, nor the pilot's head or upper body. The pilot was practically cut in half. His lower half, still in the plane, was the distance away from the plane, the upper half. When the plane crashed, there was pieces everywhere. Part of the pieces was across the field, then there were other pieces across on the other side in the bushes. Parallel to the crash, pilot Gunn was denied resistance of medical certification due to evidence of coronary artery disease. So we did have something wrong with him a little bit. The autopsy was performed by Central Organ Pathology Consultants. The result of Glum was the heart was severe damage and autopsy of his coronaries was not possible. Technology samples were sent to the Federal Aviation Civil Aeronautical Institution, according to FACAI, in Oklahoma City. The results had came back and they were found to be negative. And that's our document.
All right. Let's do constructive criticism really quickly. Sorry, Colonel Peoples had to walk out. He had a sample emergency real quick. So Group 1.
Hello, my name is Cadet Duty. I think you guys' presentation was well, although you guys were a little unorganized, and I believe I didn't hear everybody talk, and so I think everybody could have participated a little more in your guys' group, considering it is a group effort type thing. But other than that, you guys are pretty good.
Thank you.
You guys are Hybrid 2. Hybrid 3?
Hello, my name is Anita, and overall you guys did good, but I think that some of you guys weren't being as professional as you guys should have been.
Thank you.
My name is Henry Vaughan. I liked how your presentation was very, very informative. However, each one of you had some sort of fidgeting problem. I would recommend trying to correct it in the future. Thank you.
Well, my name is Cadet Gokenauer. I enjoyed the fact that you were pretty spot on with your presentation, and I'm stuttering. But I felt that more people talked. At least one person talked more than most people in the group, and next time try having everyone talk the same amount.
Thank you.
Cadet Buckner. I mean, you guys had like great information in this lane, but you three that were standing up, especially you, and just fooling around while she was talking, I actually would have been paying attention, take full consideration. Thank you.
Okay, what you're supposed to say is thank you, Cadet Bucker, for a constructive criticism. I'll work about it and not do it again. Say that.
Thank you, Cadet Buckner, for your comment.
Okay, was that it? All right, everybody give a round of applause. Good.